Can you really start a cotton candy business? Can you pay your bills with cotton candy? Well, we have for the last 5 years, and today on episode 3 of Cotton Candy 101, we're going to show you how. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Cotton Candy 101. Once again, I'm Jeff with Bombshell Sweets. I am so glad you're back here with us today because this episode is going to be a big one. We're calling it, I have to spend money now, and yes, you're going to have to spend some money. But the good news, cotton candy is still one of the most affordable businesses to get started in. Seriously. So by now, you should have already decided what kind of cotton candy business you want to start. You should also have your name picked out, and most importantly, you should have an idea of what your startup budget is going to be. Now, before we jump in, I want you to grab your notebook and pen again. This episode is going to be chock full with a lot of practical info that you're going to want to write down. As we're going through each of these items, I want you to make a list of everything that you're going to need to buy, even if you already have it. Later on, afterwards, you're going to write down to next to each of those items what the cost is going to be and where you can find them. All right, let's get into it. First up, machines. This is your first big money purchase and one of the most important decisions you'll make with your business, because without one, how are you going to have any cotton candy to sell? There are two basic types of machines: horizontal throw machines and vertical throw machines. Let's start with the horizontals. These are the classics, the ones you've seen at fairs and carnivals for decades. If you're planning to make large quantities of cotton candy, this is the way you want to go. You can tell if it's a horizontal machine because the cotton candy is going to come out the side of the head unit and not the top. All right, the pros for these types of machines. Simply, they are the fastest and they produce the most amount of cotton candy. They're a lot more durable and they are often repairable. The other side, the cons, they are a higher upfront cost. Think around $1,000 for the base model. They are not ideal for spinning live to order or switching flavors on the fly. And some of these machines will require special electrical outlets. Always double check this. You don't want to be stuck waiting on an electrician to come out to install an outlet and you have an event coming up in a day or two. If you're looking for some recommendations, gold medal is the, no pun intended, gold standard. Their Breeze model is a great option and the best bang for the buck, in my opinion. These are the machines that we have used for many, many years here in the shop. All right. Now for the vertical throw machines. These have become more common thanks to online shopping sites like Amazon. You can tell if it's a vertical throw machine because the cotton candy is going to come out of the top, not the sides. All right, the pros for these type of machines. They are great for spinning live events and small events. The flavors can be switched easily on the fly, which gives your customer a personalized customer experience. Also, they are much lower cost, usually a couple $100s for the base models. The cons. Simply, they are much slower when it comes to production and they have a shorter lifespan. These kinds of machines are not ideal for pre-packaging at all. If your goal is to engage one-on-one with the customer and spin fresh to order, for example, you have a list of a lot of different flavors, they pick from the list and you spin right there for them, this might actually be a better option for you. And Gold Medal just recently released their Quickspin, which is their newer vertical style machine with higher improved performance over the base ones and better longevity. Also on the high end is the commercial RObojet Artist, which, spoiler alert, we're hoping to be demoing on this channel very soon. All right, let's recap. Horizontal machines are built for volume, durability, and speed, but they cost more. Vertical machines are much less expensive, and they're better for flexibility and customer interaction, but expect to sacrifice speed and longevity. All right, quick detour. Used machines. I get asked about used machines all of the time. Buying used can be tempting, and sometimes it can be a great deal, but go in with your eyes wide open. Used machines might need parts or servicing before you're able to use them. And You won't, there was a sound, I don't know what the sound was. And used machines, you're not going to get a warranty. My general rule of thumb, never spend more than 40 to 50% of retail on used gear. So I would never spend more than $100 on a used vertical machine or $400 on a used basic horizontal machine. Machines are just the biggest ticket items you're going to have to purchase. There are still plenty more items that you need to get your cotton candy business up and running. Let's talk about some more of the items you're going to need. But before we get into that list, I want to let you know these are going to be the basic items. And it'll be coming from our personal experience from prepackaged sales. I won't be getting into all of the extras and all the bling. That's up for you and your creativity. Remember, make it your own. All the way back in the intro video, do you remember me saying we're not going to give you the step-by-step path, but rather help you with the basics and teach you what questions you need to answer for yourself? All right, first up on the list is going to be tables, folding tables. You're going to need at least one, if not more. Walmart has great options on these. 6-foot folding tables, usually around $40 to $50. And here's a good place where you can get some used one. You can check Facebook Marketplace. Canopies. If you're going to be doing outdoor events, you're going to need a canopy. You do not want to skimp here. The cheap ones won't last in a windstorm and rarely last more than one season. You can find brands like ABC Canopy or Master Canopy on Amazon, and they are solid choices. Usually you can get them for around $200, and they come with walls, weights, and a carrying case. Pro tip, invest in good weights. You can make your own out of PVC pipe, or you can even use cement blocks. Now, hot take, skip the branded canopies for now. You just don't need to get started, and the money can be spent elsewhere. You can get a simple banner for around $100. Another pro tip, never strap your canopy top to the frame. If a strong wind comes up, better the canopy flies off than your whole tent. Trust me, I know about this. All right, tech tools. If you've got a smartphone, great news, you already have a POS or point of sale system. This is basically how you can process orders. Square is my go-to recommendation. It's free to get started, it's simple, and it is feature rich. You can get one of these handy little square reader pucks for around $50 at Walmart, and boom, you're ready to go. Also, if you have a tablet, awesome. You can use that instead of your phone, and it keeps your phone available for during the event so you can call people or do other things that you need. Also, another pro tip, never rely on event Wi-Fi. If you can, bring your own hotspot. Often event Wi-Fi is either slow or overloaded with other users. Battery packs are another must-have. From small phone chargers to larger power stations like this, they're going to keep your gear running all day long. We use this one right here, and it will provide everything, including lights, and sometimes even our menu board for an entire day. All right, speaking of lights, really simple. You can get an inexpensive 4-foot LED shop light from Home Depot for under $30. They use very little power and put out a ton of light. Next up, banners. If you are good with Photoshop, you can design your own. If not, hire somebody. Remember the last episode I mentioned Fiverr? This is a good source for finding someone to design your banners. Another pro tip, keep the banner design simple. One common mistake is to make them too cluttered or too loud. I personally love using nextdaydisplay.com. They're fast, affordable, and include free shipping. Another pro tip, we got a lot of them. Always add wid slits into the banners. Trust me, you will thank me on a windy day. Labels, really simple. Do not blow your budget here. Another source for this is onlinelabels.com. They have great prices and options. They also sell blanks as well as pre-printed. Rule of thumb, you never want to spend more than 10 to 15 cents per item. Some other miscellaneous must-have. Aprons, the disposable kind. Nitrile gloves for spinning. Cheap bulk disposable gloves for sampling. Grill brushes. These are 99 cents at Walmart. Trust me, they clean your machine like a dream. And you're probably going to need a tablecloth. Next up, sugar. This is the heart of the whole operation. So there are basically 3 main types of cotton candy sugar. Traditional pink and blue, oil-based gourmet flavors, or dry-based gourmet flavors. First up, traditional. It is the most affordable option. There are 2 types of traditional cotton candy sugar, floss sugar and Flossine. Basically, floss sugar is pre-mixed, ready to use. Flossine is a concentrate that you mix with sugar before you use. Pros. This is the least expensive option, bar none. It's also very familiar to customers, and it's the easiest to use. On the other side, the flavors with this are meh, and there's not a lot of options. Next up, oil-based flavors. These are the new kids on the block. It is really popular with home-based gourmet spinners. The pros, very easy to do yourself. Good pricing for if you want to do gourmet options, and this kind works really well in the vertical machines. The cons, it adds moisture, which is never good for cotton candy production. Also, oil-based flavors lose flavor potency when they're exposed to heat. It can also be a little bit tricky to store. Last up, dry-based flavors. This kind of cotton candy sugar uses baking powder style flavorings, and unlike oil-based, they stay dry and hold the flavor very well, even under heat. Now the pros, you get a much richer flavor profile, it's a lot easier to store, and this spins well in both types of machines. The cons, this is going to be the most expensive option. Also, it's not as widely available. If you're not sure where to start, test all three kinds and see what you like. Nature Flavors is a good first option when it comes to dry mixing. All right, time for a shameless plug. We here at Bombshell Sweets have our own unique process, and we sell finished, ready-to-use gourmet sugars. We have over 80-plus flavors and often considered the best-tasting cotton candy on the market. We have sample packs as well to try them out without breaking the bank. All right, let's go back. Back to your notebook. Go to your budget page you made in the last episode and write down everything from today's episode if you haven't written it down already. Write down if you already have the item, write down a 0. If not, as you're doing your research, write down the prices you see and where you find them. Eventually, you'll have a clear idea of what your startup costs will be. Now, here comes the tough part. You'll probably need to make a few compromises. Probably the biggest pro tip of the day, if you really can't afford a machine right away, look into some party rental companies in your area. We actually used to rent machines for a few months when we were getting started out. As always, where there is a will, there is a way. Do not give up. All right, that's it for today's episode. I know this one was a long one, but hopefully you're walking away with a lot more clarity and confidence. I'll post a full list of the items in the comments below for you to reference. And next episode, I know this is the one episode everyone gets asked for, or I get asked for all of the time. It's time to get messy. It's finally going to be time to start making cotton candy. I'm going to walk you through the entire spinning process on the horizontal machines and even do a tear down and cleaning process step by step on video. Until then, don't give up. You are one step closer to your first event and your first customer. We'll see you next time.